finding it. See what happens.
Not good.
Private browsing is locked. What?
That's not it. Ah, there it is. Hello. Facebook. Facebook is
I'm
good.
almost back. Hang on. Okay. All right. Oh man, I put this.
Gillmor Gang is live on X.
I gotta adjust this. It's too. It's
Yeah.
And on LinkedIn.
LI.
Streaming.
Too.
Well,
No, it's not good.
Oh, it's all
Okay.
good to hear. We got our distro turf working.
okay. So we're streaming. We've got X. We've got Facebook. We've got LinkedIn.
Yes, we do.
Oh wow, we've got liftoff. All right. So we're about to record the Gillmor Gang. It's our millionth and 55th show, I think. And let's see, let me get
55th.
yeah, well, when you're counting. Okay. All right. And mute is off, and we're gonna go in 3, 2, 1, and
Hi, Steve Gillmor here. This is the Gillmor Gang.
okay.
Joining us from Palo Alto, California is Keith Tier. Welcome, Keith.
A great pleasure to be here on this fine Sunday morning, and it's pouring down here.
Oh,
2
really?
two days nonstop.
Wow.
Okay, so the way this works now is that I've introduced one person, and then I'm going to introduce
Okay.
everybody else.
So I'm not supposed to talk, right?
No, Keith is not supposed to talk.
Not talking.
He does it every
He
time.
talked about he's supposed to.
Well, I brought it up, and
Okay.
so
Okay, here we go.
from right next to me
Oh no, he's
is
punishing
our
me.
producer director and Tina Chase Gillmor.
Hi. Hello. Welcome everybody to the Gillmor Gang. It is a fine Sunday afternoon, and it is absolutely beautiful weather here. All right.
Beautiful afternoon for a football game.
Yeah.
The dulcet tones of Frank Radis come from the state of Britain.
That's the dulcet and French tones to you.
Oh.
Francho, but who's counting?
Francho. I like Francho.
Yeah, and Harpo, Francho, and Miko.
Brillo.
Okay, so that's Frank Radis. Hi, Frank.
Steve, gangsters, and that's
okay.
Oh, gangsterette. I like
and that. Last but certainly not least,
don't do it.
Is from the state of confusion, otherwise known as August.
Yeah.
Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you.
Jeez.
And that's star of the CRM Playas, along with his buddy Keith Tier. No.
Oh, Greenberg.
No, I get confused. Do you have your name on your shot?
Yes, he does.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Yes, bless you.
I only did that so I could interrupt.
Oh, very well played. And that would be Brent Leary. Welcome, Brent.
It's pretty good to be here.
He's finally come up with a meme to counter the confusion.
I think that's very appropriate.
Yes.
Okay.
But on the other hand, who's the guy running for senator or whatever in Georgia?
The guy?
Yeah, there's a minister and then there's the other guy, John Off.
Oh, you talking about Ossoff?
Oh, you mean Ossoff? Yeah, John. It sounded like you clipped your mic there for a second. You went John Off.
Near you.
You got to be very careful about
fire
that
sign
one.
stuff.
The
one who's really good at that is Bill Proctor, by the way.
And Senator Warlock. Warnock.
Warlock, okay.
And
Oh, you gotta
senator
be
or
careful
not.
with that stuff there, Brent.
Okay, so let me ask you this, Brent. Is Georgia going to have an impact on the midterms or the election in November?
Wow.
Well, I guess, yeah. We're gonna have some kind of an impact. I don't know what kind, but yeah, I would say so. You got a big senator race.
And that would be between Ossoff and
I have no idea who's the Republican yet, but
it's big, but
it's gonna be big. Yeah.
not memorable, at least
Huge.
not
It'll be
yet.
huge.
It's
Uh,
like the Trump, the MAGA wing versus the non-MAGA wing.
oh,
Like Brad Raffensperger is the non-MAGA,
oh, God help us.
and then there's whoever wins the MAGA wing. I don't know.
Mm.
And then that should, didn't we just already lose or about to lose the Democratic senator or whatever from the state of, what's his name? He's,
Swalwell?
yeah, Swalwell.
You mean, oh no,
There's
yeah.
he's easily replaced. I think he should get out. It's not looking too
Yeah,
good for
it
him.
seems the consensus is that, guilty. And now I'll listen to what the facts are.
Yeah.
I mean, I find
I
it,
also think when you've got 4 people who are saying shit about you,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're
As
just
far as I'm concerned, it only takes 2. So
Try being Sam Altman this week.
yeah, well, we're not going to talk about that since Keith is so ably dedicated his entire platform to running wingman for Sam.
Sam Altman fan club.
Yes, what about Sam is the isn't that what it's called?
No, it's hands off, Sam.
Ah,
Oh yeah, he really needs our help.
He was firebombed the other night.
Yeah,
Well, that's
Molotov
terrible.
cocktail.
that's not okay.
No, none of it is okay. It's just whether or not if you want to hear about that, I would suggest
Tuning to
into that was the week.
I have a serious question though around that Molotov cocktail stuff. Did that Molotov guy actually ever throw one of these things?
I
He
think
did.
he was a Russian, correct?
He was Stalin's like right hand man or something.
Oh, Molotov, actual Molotov.
Oh,
Yeah, he was like their defense minister.
He
or whatever they
invented
call it.
the idea of the weapon. That's what it is.
So did he actually throw one?
Well, I don't think we really know.
Mm.
It was a long time ago. I don't even know if they had film cameras then.
Back before AI, everything has been erased.
I'm going to find out for you, Brent. I mean,
I would love to know if
feel
he
like
actually threw it.
we need to know.
little Wikipedia on the Molotov cocktail there, and we'll get some answers.
Yeah, I was trying to look something up on Wikipedia. Unfortunately, I couldn't remember what the word Wikipedia was.
Wikipedia is still hanging in there.
All
it
right.
sure is.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's unless you've got people doing your writing for you, it's actually I don't mean ghostwriting. I mean actually if somebody's going to add to your profile, it's got to be somebody that's been approved by Wikipedia. It's not just
Well,
anybody that can go in
it's
and
not
do
just
that.
that. It's anybody except you can write about you.
Mm.
That's the rule.
That sucks.
Yeah, but if you write for Wikipedia, you do have to go through an approval process.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Literally.
Imagine that we have gatekeepers.
Oh, here we go. The Molotov cocktail was actually named to mock Molotov, not because he used one.
Aha.
During the Soviet invasion of Finland, Soviet Foreign Minister somebody claimed on radio that Soviet bombers were dropping humanitarian food supplies, not bombs. The Finns sarcastically called the Soviet cluster bombs Molotov bread baskets. They then named their improvised incendiary bottles Molotov cocktails, a drink to go with the food.
Shaken, not stirred.
Wow.
So it's Finnish sense of humor. Who knew Finnish people had a sense of humor? Now we know.
But it has absolutely nothing to do with throwing bombs, it sounds like.
The Finns had these bombs, and because they were receiving, in quotes, food baskets, which were actually bombs, they renamed their bombs Molotov cocktails to go with the, in quotes, food that they were not getting.
Interesting.
Okay, congratulations, Brent.
For those
I'm
of you who
actually
got that,
very excited
good
about
job.
this.
For those of you at home who
I always wondered if
didn't,
he actually threw a cocktail or not, but now I know. Thanks. Keith.
By the
is-
way,
wouldn't want to
that
just.
was Claude, and it could be totally made up.
Okay, so here's the
Sounds
thing.
good.
I have a
I would have
question for
never
you,
known.
Keith. May I ask Keith a question, if you don't mind? It's not on. It's not the greatest.
Yeah, but
topic.
narrate
Who's
it.
giving permissions today? You or me?
I want to know, what are the 5 different AIs that people should have? Maybe it's 3. What are the top 3 that they should have, and why?
Hmm.
Well,
This is a regular user. This is not a power user. This is somebody who
a regular user probably just needs one of OpenAI or Anthropic, or probably Gemini, and probably Perplexity. Any one of those 4 will do a decent job.
So be decent job doing what? Text, video, text to video, text to audio, audio to audio. What?
Well, some of them do
Coding.
everything. Like OpenAI will do everything. Gemini will do everything. But you've got to say to it, you've got to change, the control to the thing you want to do. In the case of OpenAI, it's integrated. You don't have to change any control. You can ask for a video or image, or you can put text in. You can ask it to write code. You can ask it to carry out tasks on your computer for you. So I'd say any one, and it's almost better to just learn one than use lots. And then the next level up from that is a personal assistant like OpenClaw, or there's one called Hermes, which is not waiting for you to ask things. You teach it repetitive tasks, and it carries them out when you're not there.
How about
So
if someone had
what?
to go with one? What would it be?
If it was one, I think probably Anthropic, to be honest.
So what does that cost? What does that cost the average user to
there's
be able to use it?
There's a free tier, which is totally usable. There's a $20 tier, which gives you some extra. You don't run out as quick. In the free tier, it'll say, okay, you've used up your allocation, come back in 2 hours. But it's got all the functionality. In the paid $20 tier, you get more. And in the 200, they've now got a $100 tier and a $200 tier. It just is more usage. Like I pay the 200 and I never run out, and I use it a lot.
So I guess I'm getting to the point where, how they're in streaming. There's a thing called streamflation, which means I've now bought so many different streaming services. I don't know what I'm doing, and it's costing me like $1,000 a month or something.
Yeah.
Is there a AI-flation happening for people out there just buying everything that comes up?
Not normal people, because I think normal people are still using free. But I think for people like me, I have multiple subscriptions and they add up. But I use them, and to be honest, for what they do, they're cheap.
Okay, there you go. That's our
Frank,
primer. That's
Frank,
our primer for the day.
is that a question for you? Is that a question for the audience, or are you trying to figure out where you
No.
should center your attentions
No,
on?
no. I have many that I use for various things, and I was just curious what Keith thought,
Okay.
being the sort of the AI maven in the group. If you don't mind my calling you a maven, sir.
Sir Keith.
Maven. I'd rather be a muse, I think, than a maven.
AI muse of the group.
But is muse feminine, or can it be masculine?
That's a good question.
It often is feminine.
Yeah, it ought to be both. I mean,
I identify as a muse.
I think it's not. I don't think it's gender specific, but I think it is often used for women. Let's look that up. What did your AI say about that?
Is muse feminine to begin with? I don't know.
It's amusing to me.
Yeah.
But yes. So there we go. So what about the failure of the talks? I was actually a little bit blown away that the reason for the failure is that the Iranian delegation refused to say they wouldn't build a nuclear weapon, which everything I'd heard up until this weekend suggested that the Iranian constitution and the religious blah blah structurally were against nuclear weapons, and always said they won't build one. So it's a little bit surprising that the reason for the talks breaking up is that they refused to say they wouldn't build one.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I honestly, I think that here we are arguing about something that was already taken care of in a prior treaty that we felt that we pulled out of. That's ironic to me, anyway. And it just seems so weird that we gave up on that. We gave up the straits. We created that problem that didn't exist before the war. What else did we do? It's how many mistakes can you make? Those aren't mistakes. It's a lack of strategy. It's a tactic that hasn't been thought out.
Do you think it's true though? Do you think that is why they talked? Do you think they actually said that? I guess it must be true. I'm not seeing anyone denying it.
And neither am I. And that's sort of the first thing I look for now. Anyway.
Well, if it is true, doesn't that justify Trump's urgency? Not that I want to justify anything that Trump does, but his argument was they're going to build a nuclear weapon. And if they're now saying we're not going to agree that we're not going to do it, they won't even lie about it. They're boldly saying we're not prepared to say we won't do it. It kind of sets up the tension again as being real.
Yeah, except they don't have one. They don't have it. They don't have the bomb yet.
Yeah.
And God knows where their enriched uranium supply is, and is it under 1 million tons of rubble from one of those deep penetrating bombers? I don't know.
The masterstroke would be for the US and Russia to agree to give up nuclear weapons in a global agreement that everyone will.
Hallelujah.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I thought so I thought that the talks were kind of short.
Absolutely. 21 hours. Come on,
what?
man.
It's over?
21 hours. Boom.
He wanted to get back so he
Gillmor?
could see who wins the Masters. That's all,
Who's leading?
Is Rory back?
I think Rory was tied going into the day.
But he came back from a massive lead, right? Because he screwed up.
Well, yeah, he started yesterday 6 ahead and ended it even. So
that's the insanity of that game. Even if you don't play much golf, you know when you've hit it right. That one time you hit it right, you know it, and you spend the rest of your life trying to recapture that second, and you cannot do it.
They are about to tee off right now, the final two.
And they are?
Rory McIlroy and some dude named Young.
And is it because they're tied, so they got to do a playoff?
They're at -11 at the first hole.
Huh. Oh, so they're doing 18. They're doing 18 holes. It's not just a short playoff.
This is the fourth round.
It's the fourth round. Okay.
Yeah. Boy, Augusta looks beautiful.
It's a beautiful day.
It is a beautiful day.
It's
Steve
a pretty
looks
place.
Steve looks
given how
gripping
this conversation is, I do want to introduce that the San Jose Earthquakes won 3-1 away last night.
And what are they? Soccer?
Yeah. And
that would be football to you.
6 wins and 1 loss. Led by, as a coach, what's that guy called who used to be the US team coach? I'm forgetting his name now. But locally, it's. I think it's the first time ever that the San Jose Earthquakes have started the season, or even ended the season, anywhere near the top of the league.
Yeah.
And how much do you have to pay in order to watch that league?
I think you can get a ticket for around $40.
No, TV.
Oh, TV, it's free on Apple TV. They turned it free. MLS. Go to the Apple TV app, go down to the MLS, and every game is free.
For the rest of the year?
Yep.
Hmm.
It's forever, I think. They've decided they're sponsoring the league and they're giving it for free as a way of growing Apple TV share.
How's that going?
Ooh, right down the middle.
I don't know the numbers on that, but I can tell you that was the week Apple TV app has had 5 downloads in 3 weeks. So I'm thinking it's awesome. Me, my wife, and my 3 kids.
I'm not sure what the numbers are, Steve, but the most recent Evan Shapiro map indicated that, in the media world, Amazon and Apple are in about the same spot. Disney is way ahead. Netflix is way ahead.
In terms of what? Subscribers?
Subscribers and net revenue and value, ownership, how much they're worth. So it seems like there's like the big couple and the rest of them have to catch up. Now, that's not to say that they're all not minting money. That would be wrong. I wouldn't say that. They're all minting money. And it's ironic that Superman and Batman have the same last name.
What, man? I don't get it.
No, neither do I. It just came into my head right at that moment.
They have the same dad, Frank.
Yeah. Well, is it Batman or Batman?
Super dad.
Batman. Batman.
Is it?
I'm in the state of confusion now. Just like
there you go.
It could be Superman.
No.
So the one, probably the biggest news of the week in AI, and we may not want to talk about it, is Anthropic's model that found all these vulnerabilities in software that hadn't been found by the experts for like 30 years. And what the implications are of that. There's a big discussion about whether Anthropic is marketing its prowess by not releasing the model because it's, in quotes, too powerful, or whether there's a genuine effort to protect software, blah 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 blah. But the implication everyone's drawing out goes back to this software is dead meme. And in the case of cybersecurity software, they're saying if an AI can find and fix these vulnerabilities without any software, and the software can't, isn't this the moment in which AI trumps software?
Is that why the enterprise software vendors all took a dump on Friday?
Yeah, they went down 10 to 15%, a lot of them.
Yeah. That was why. I was wondering what the hell happened.
Yeah, it's called Mythos, this model. And apparently OpenAI has one called Spud, S-P-U-D. That is
so
also,
they both detect the problem and then fix the problem?
They can fix it or exploit it. They can do both. Which is why the claim is that they didn't release it, because it can do both. So they're going to fix the holes first and then release it later. And just to put some numbers on it, this is a 10 trillion parameter model. The biggest one so far have been like 1 trillion. So its training is 10 times more than previous trainings in terms of what it's trained on. And I think that's true of the OpenAI one as well. It's a much bigger model. And one of the underlying debates is, can AI scale just through more compute and more storage? And if this story is true, it seems like the answer is yes, it can. And that at least in some cases, software won't be as good as AI is at particular problem solving.
Okay.
I see this as probably, if you were into this, probably a good opportunity to buy some enterprise software stock. I just can't imagine any one thing is going to take out all these companies that have been around for like ever. And just because every time Anthropic announces something, it usually drops an industry 10% before it recovers after the maybe the shock and awe of the initial statement. I just don't see it. I mean, it sounds very bad, but I just can't imagine all these companies are just going to give up and walk away
Well,
because of this.
I think you're probably right, because if you think about what it would require to walk away, they've all got firewalls and various rules-based anti-crypto hacking stuff running on their networks or in the cloud, fully integrated into their entire stack. And the idea that you would turn all that off and run some kind of godlike AI instead that, kept an eye on everything doesn't seem actionable, that those steps could be taken. But it might mean growth. I think the stock market really prices future growth, not current adoption.
Mhm.
So it might be that the future growth goes away.
Well, I saw where I forget what firm downgraded ServiceNow to a neutral, and they downgraded their price targets like significantly. And I think it was kind of in recognition of this development with Anthropic. And then all these other enterprise software companies were down too. But I've seen this before with when Anthropic says they have something that addresses a certain industry, and then all these companies in that industry, their stock price immediately goes down 10, 15%. But then like a month later, you look back at it, and those stock prices are pretty much back to where they were before the announcement. I'm just wondering, is this another one of these things, these knee-jerk people are looking at maybe a way to get some quick hits, some quick cash, as opposed to what is it going to look like a year from now or 2 years from now?
I see the political and Trump situation as being much more uh, in charge of the future proofing
Mm,
of these software products.
mm.
He's too busy at the moment to be able to try and you know turn it into revenue for his family. But at some point, the noise will die down, and then we'll see who is going to survive and who isn't.
Well, we saw.
I wouldn't bet against some of the incumbents.
Well, I would say, I mean, I think you're making a good point. It's probably not one thing that's driving those stocks down, and on any given Friday or Saturday, when something happens,
No, I don't
I
see it
I
that
think.
way. I see it as a function of the chaos quotient of the media is what is driving
Mm,
the stock market,
mm,
not the efficiencies or lack of it of AI.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. This week we saw what a 1,200 point day because of our current resident in chief saying something about peace talks or putting stakes in the ground, and then it's taco time. And so with everything he does or says around a war, of course people are going to be hypersensitive to. And I know he enjoys that kind of stuff. I don't care what anybody says. He enjoys when he's able to say or do something and sees that kind of impact happening. Now, sometimes the folks that are aligned with him say, look, you got to do something here. You got to say something here because you're killing us right now. And that's what we saw when he came back and said, oh, we're going to have these peace talks. We're not going to obliterate you guys in at 8 o'clock. And we saw what happened with the stock market. So I think you're right, Steve. I think right now he's having much more fun impacting everything by way of these pronouncements he makes on a social network that he owns. Uh, because that's got more impact and more juice than anything right now around AI.
Well, we also need to think about the fact that the peace talks are seemingly over, and there was
They
a
are?
seems like it. Seems like it to me.
Well, phase one at least. There may be a
Yeah,
phase.
I don't think that they would have made a pronouncement that they were officially over. I don't think I think you would have heard that.
Well,
They announced that
Yeah.
they quote failed.
Yeah,
no,
but
they haven't announced that.
I
Vance has
mean,
announced.
Vance has, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right. And who's Vance?
He
They're
is the
eating the
vice.
dogs, they're eating the cats.
He is the
Well,
VP.
yeah, and the Secretary of State and National Security Advisor is running against him for president.
My point, though, is how soon are we going back to, we're going to obliterate civilization?
I think it,
overnight.
yeah, I mean, I think it basically it flops back to the last pronouncement.
But
So the
You
fact
know,
that
start to
putting
like
this
let's
blockade
say
in the Strait of Hormuz is in my mind not far below a brilliant idea. A and B, it's going to create a situation where where there will be huge volatility because of it. There will be a lot of fighting around it.
it's going to maintain huge volatility. It's not going to
It's
create it.
well, I
And how
think
can you have peace? How can you have a peace talk that doesn't include Israel? Because this dude is doing whatever he
Thank
wants
you.
to do.
Thank you. He's going to do it anyway. I said that last week, as I said, yeah, there'll be a ceasefire, but even if we pull out, the war is not over.
He doesn't want the war to end, so he wants to bomb because apparently, I guess that's all he has. Because if he has to go and get an election, doesn't sound like he's actually going to win. So he has to keep on this war stuff, man. This is really something.
Wag the dog.
I'm more sympathetic to Israel than that, Brent. I mean, I think the whole framing of Israel goes back to October 7th, and there's no way of seeing it other than an existential fear that people want to wipe you out and you need to fix that. And I think given that there's no other country in the world where Jews can live, they believe safely.
Oh, I'm just talking about him specifically. I'm not talking about Israel, the people.
But that's why I don't know if he's popular, but he's
He's
more
not, he
popular.
wasn't popular until
He
he
was he
started
was
bombing
he was
stuff.
less popular before, yeah.
Yeah.
So, which kind of implies that post October 7th, there's a certain legitimacy to wanting to fight.
I think it seems to me that there are people there that want to have some sort of a peaceful solution. I don't think he sees a peaceful solution as helping him specifically.
Well, I mean, it'd be weird if there was any other goal than Israel being able to live in peace.
No, there's different ways and people have different views of how that comes about. I don't think he sees it as a two-state solution is something that I don't think he's interested in, even if it could have a peaceful resolution.
And I
And
think that's true of all sides now. I think
it
two
might
sides.
be of all sides now, but I don't know if it was like that before all this bombing has been continuing.
Well, every time there's been a two-state solution, it was proposed by Israel and then killed by various Islamist extremists, killing the Egyptian president in one case. Israel's always been the promoter of a two-state solution, and it's always been the other side that couldn't get it across the line. I mean, that's historically true.
Well, saying something is historically true is not accurate.
Well, put it this way: when was it Copenhagen happened, or was it Stockholm? I always forget. And when Arafat signed up for a two-state solution, every time it's been signed up for, some faction within the Islamicist extreme has done something that blew the whole thing up, and it never happened.
But even with that, I don't know if Netanyahu was a part of that back in the day, but it wasn't one of the charges against him is kind of funding some activity that would continue to have
Yeah.
basically wars being driven as opposed to figuring out an actual peace that could be settled in on everybody. Kind of hard to say you're for peace if you're kind of funding a radical group to keep fighting with you, and that's what it kind of sounds like.
Yeah, who I honestly I don't think we really know because the media get involved in all that and there's no evidence or proof. It's out there, I agree with you. But ultimately what else is being played for you other than Jews can have their own country? Yes or no? I mean, it's
I
got
think
to be
individual
yes.
power can be part of it. I mean, I wonder if somebody were to really to ask him and say, "Hey, look, if you're really for peace, would you be willing to step aside if you thought peace could be had by getting out of the way?
Yeah.
Would you do it?"
You
I don't
know,
know
they
about him. I don't know if he
on
could.
Meet the Press, they asked the Cuban president that exact question this morning.
Yeah, and he didn't answer it.
No, he said, "Fuck you. It's not up to you to tell me who's the president of my
Right. He didn't
country."
answer the question.
Well, he answered no. He said, "No, I wouldn't be prepared to step aside." He said,
Nice
I'll
answer.
die before
Yeah.
I'll die
Yeah, but
before."
that's
Die for peace.
he changed the answer to fit his question, not the
Yeah,
uh
but any leader of any country asked by another country, because we don't like you, will you step aside? Should say no. It's not up to us to
I
like or
think that
dislike.
the norm as it were is not answering the question.
Yeah.
Everybody in the news on the media uh, functions as effective at dodging the question. They all
Yeah.
do. That's all
Yeah.
they do.
I agree with you. That's media training for all politicians. They try to speak their agenda, not answer questions. I agree with that.
We
But
should
I,
be
al-
talking
I
about the
but
Dow right here, you know?
The
but I
Dow,
no,
the Dow. No, sorry.
I also think if you believe in nations having the right to their own decision-making processes, you just got to acknowledge that it's not, as a Brit, we've interfered everywhere and it was never good, mostly never good. I think probably never good. I can't remember a good one. So, keep out, let them figure it out for themselves. And they probably will. If he's a bad guy, they'll figure it out.
Well,
And
we
he,
actually
and
have
he's,
our vice president went to Hungary in the middle of a war that we're fighting, so he could pitch for the strong men over there.
yeah, but
Yeah,
that's,
how's that election going, by the way? It seems to me strongman's in the is like in a pretty strong second place.
well, that's the other thing, Frank. You'll know this, but the EU has waged a propaganda campaign against Orban ever since he was elected, trying to, undermine his credibility,
For
calling him
his NATO blow.
calling him a dictator, saying he's pro-Putin, which, by the way, he isn't. The EU
Hmm.
is meant to be for democracy. In the case of Hungary, if it doesn't like the result, it's no longer in favor of democracy, and it doesn't like Orban, so it's tried to undermine him. So you can't get rid of principles just because you don't like the other side. You still have to have principles, and EU seems not to have any. And in the case of Israel, it seems lots of people lose their principles about nations having the right to determine their own future. I actually think it's true in Iran as well. I mean, bombing Iran should be a no-go zone for anyone that's liberal, but so should killing Israelis be a no-go zone.
Yeah, so should killing 107 young girls in a school.
True, but that's just one more thing on the list. It doesn't
Yeah.
change the fundamental,
No,
and,
yeah,
and
no, it's
plus they argue it was an accident.
yeah,
Okay.
right.
believe it or not.
The first thing we heard was it was Iran that did that. That was the first thing that we heard.
Mhm.
Yeah, but then they owned up to it eventually, right? I think.
Even after the
But
president said,
I'm just saying that the whole thing is a mess. There's no
Yeah.
good.
That's true.
"Oh, I don't agree. I didn't say that because I believed it. I said it as an example. That's all."
There's a really good article about it's in Spiked online. It's called "America is the New Rome," and it puts it all down to the collapse of the empire, in quotes.
Does that mean the current president is Nero or?
I
He
don't know.
watched Rome burn while
Jesus.
Probably, yeah, probably. But I think if you try to stand back and figure it all out, and your starting point is you want a peaceful world, because I think that's probably all of our starting points. It seems likely that the opposite is going to happen, given all the variables in play.
So how is it that this blockade that we're now saying is going to happen? I don't know if that's just talk or whether that's actually we're putting some action together. Um, how is that going to help the situation at all?
Oh, that's a good question.
This morning, Saudi Arabia announced their east-west pipeline is now fully open, and that they no longer need the Straits of Hormuz to transport oil.
Hmm.
Well, there is that.
So who is this going to squeeze then?
China mainly. I mean, apparently most of the oil that goes through the Straits of Hormuz is destined for Asia. A lot of it for China.
So
None of it comes to the US.
are we going to take control of the strait and then start charging whatever we want for those Chinese ships to go through? Is that the plan?
I
How is
doubt
that
it.
going to work?
I seriously doubt that that's doable militarily. I think the Iranians are still, Iran has roughly 600,000 military. They're not a small military.
They're not a
I-
small country.
Yeah. So it doesn't seem very practical, the idea that you could take over the Straits of Hormuz. And if you did, it would be a permanent, like, war zone.
Well, certainly Trump did start to, when I can't, was it last week when he started to say, well, maybe we'll charge for it, we'll be the ones that are handling that. When he smells money, he goes for it. So I wouldn't put it past him to try to make that play.
I think he's in over his neck. I think this whole peace talks was driven by him as an off ramp, and he hasn't got his off ramp. So now he's screwed because he's going to have to step it up again, which I'm going to guess doesn't want to do.
Mhm.
But what alternative does he have, given the way he set it up?
Well, taking over blockading the strait is stepping it up, right?
Well, the Iranians are already blockading it, so that would be status quo in a way. I mean, I don't know what he would gain by doing that. Iran wouldn't care because they're already doing it anyway.
I
So
think
I'm not sure what is to be gained. I mean, the only good thing that could happen in Iran is people rise up against the authorities there, but that seems now even less likely. It was more likely before the war.
When they believed that America was going to come in and help save them.
because America had some great plan.
Well, he made the promise.
Yeah.
And
Publicly.
all my Iranian friends here are, I mean, they're going on marches with American flags and Israeli flags and Iranian flags all on the same march, basically against the regime. But in Iran itself, that isn't happening. In Iran
No.
itself, it's It's now hunker down and don't get killed.
Could we take a step back and just generally, on a high level, answer a question? Do you feel better now than you did back at 2024? Do you feel safer? Do you
In the
feel,
world.
yeah, I mean,
No,
just,
the world's going, deglobalization is another word for renationalization. And renationalization means nations start to have self-interests, uh, against others. And in the case of America, it's even against NATO and the EU because of Trump's narrative. So you're seeing rapid deglobalization, rapid militarization. I definitely think October 7th was a catalyst, for the Middle Eastern part of it. I don't think any of this would have happened in the Middle East were it not for October 7th.
all right, let me ask you a different question. Do you think, not looking at the outside world, but if we had a different administration or a different person in the White House, given all that's going on, do you think we'd be stuck in the same place?
I think there's the short answer is not exactly, but directionally, I think the answer is yes. And if you look under Biden, and even going back to the first Trump administration, asking why he won, the industrial decline of America underlies everything. The Midwest unemployment rates, Detroit, the working class becoming alienated from the Democratic Party, especially the white working class. That is the underlying reality that is driving most things, I think. And then you get irrational behavior on the world stage. That's the Rome analogy in a way. When Rome is burning, everyone else ends up going to war with Rome, because the way to stop burning is to project external power, even when it doesn't serve you really. So I do think there's a kind of a moment in history that's really all about the United States on the world stage that is not specific to who's the president. But I do think who's the president affects how that plays out. It does.
Oh, I think you're just going right down the middle with that one, Keith.
Well, no, who's the president? Who's the
No,
president? Like it is really true that Biden let in double-digit millions of immigrants in the southern border. That's really true. He did. That's how he played it. That was a mistake. On the other hand, it's really true that Trump is bombing the Middle East. That's also a mistake. So they both have their, but if you ask why, it's lack of authority, lack of vision, lack of perspective. It's really meandering leadership as opposed to real leadership. I don't think you could say anything good about Biden in retrospect, other than maybe the Industrialization Act, whatever, I forgot what that's called now. Spending money on infrastructure, that one.
I would say that I don't think we'd be in the war we're in right now.
True. I think I probably agree with that, because but on the other hand, Biden was less prepared to support Israel. What would have Biden done on October 7th?
Wasn't he
mean,
still in the office when that took place? Didn't he fully back him at the very beginning? Because it was still under his watch, right? When this all
Yeah.
broke out. Yeah. He was like standing side by side with Netanyahu at the beginning of that.
mhm.
I don't know.
But
There was a lot of tension between Biden and Israel.
well, I think it was between Biden and Netanyahu more so than Biden and Israel.
Yeah.
So I still think at the time, if I recall correctly, there was a lot of people within Israel that were ready to get rid of this dude before October 7th happened.
distraction, baby.
Well, he was a goner, he was a goner. I mean, Hezbollah handed him, the Joker in the pack, or all the Jokers. October 7th saved his ass.
for the most part.
Sure.
Uh,
So that was clever of them.
Hey, I will. I'm going to answer the original question. I do feel safer. Why? I don't live there.
But it is a mess. I mean, look, it's a mess. We all have our instincts about right and wrong, and we probably agree about most of them.
I would
Um,
say it's a mess, but it's also, it just feels like you can never get a minute of peace because
Yep.
you, even in the middle of the night, you get these screeds from a social network from the president of the United
Yep,
States.
it's always been that way with him.
I
And
ignore him. I don't even pay attention to him.
well,
I would love to be able to ignore him. Matter of fact, please let him just have his own reality TV show if he gave up the office. That would be great.
But
But
I
he's
think
going to give up the office. He's not going to be president in January of the next year.
29,
Yeah, whatever it is.
because we still got a long ways to go with this dude.
Well, we have a long way to
yeah,
go
we
this
sure do.
week.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I remember, I knew it was bad the first time around, but at least there were, what do they call them, adults in the room, that kind of kept him from going completely full bore on his own instincts. I mean, you had like he liked to call them the generals, like McMaster and Mad Dog Mattis. Those guys seem to have some sort of sense of being able to keep him from going completely off the rail. Now, who do we have as Secretary of Defense? That guy's going to keep him from going off the rails. He's
well
already
that
on the rails.
but that's Trump's whole. I mean, you're right. You're describing it accurately. But that his lesson from the first administration is don't don't work with people that don't believe in you. So he's completely put his own people in place everywhere. And then they are. It's not just that they're yes people; they actually buy into his. When you hear Vance talk about NATO and the future of the world, it's totally coherent. If you believe that globalization has ended and America has to look after number one, and you can't trust Europe, then it's totally coherent. So then you're forced to discuss that. Is it coherent? You're forced to ask the question: is that a coherent view of the world? Is Europe now past the point where, given what's going on in Ukraine, does NATO make any sense anymore? You're forced to discuss it because that's what they're forcing you to discuss.
Once again, I don't think we'd even be having any of these kind of conversations if we didn't have somebody different
yeah.
in the office right now. And I'm not just saying it has to be one person in. I'm saying almost anybody other than this person that's in there. I
Yeah.
don't think we'd be having any of these kind of
Well,
conversations.
that's what the midterms are going to show, regardless of whether it has any long-term impact or not. The midterms are going to, basically say that all things being equal, uh, we just need to survive long enough to get, past this guy.
Well, I
That's
also
it.
think,
I
And
mean, that's the consensus
and
in the media. It's also the consensus in uh, you know uh, uh, whatever the word is for the constituency that put him in office.
his base.
No, not his base. Cons- the the uh, the people that switched from uh, not liking Trump, but not thinking it was all that important to endorsing him, giving him what he calls a mandate, which of course is not.
Well, he got a 10 million vote swing compared to
Right. But
the
who are
election.
who are those people?
I actually don't know. I mean, it's the media says that it's a lot of unlikely suspects, like black men. Was it black men and black women? I forget. Latinos.
yeah.
Yeah, Latinos, I think, is really the crux of the matter
Yeah.
And
because they
Latino
were,
men in big numbers.
Mhm.
yeah,
But whatever it was, my point to you, Brent, is there are underlying uh, torrents flowing that change in leadership will affect psychological style, but won't affect direction of travel.
Well, I think, and once again, nobody knows for sure what the numbers are or what drove the numbers specifically. But it feels to me that a number of people that voted for Trump were voting for a couple of significant issues for them and fully expected him to stay on in tune with that. And part of that was not going global, staying out of other people's business,
Yeah.
focusing on the border. I mean, those are the things that it seemed like that were really, driving a certain segment of people. Of course, there's folks that are always like, the financial aspects are more important for them. But it feels like he's completely just gone 180 degrees away from some of the things that really drove a lot of his voters. Like foreign wars were supposedly something that he was completely going to be against and not,
Well, of
focus on.
course he did. He's not going to be running again. So he doesn't have to comply or to live up to those promises. Because, how is that going to hurt him?
Well, the kind of rumor machine says that the trigger to get him to do the Iran stuff was Israeli intelligence saying that Iran was very close to a nuclear bomb. True or not, doesn't matter. They
But
believe.
he believed that intelligence, you're right. He believed that intelligence more than he believed the intelligence coming from our own organizations because it came from the previous administrations or.
Right.
So
So
he'd rather take BB's word for it than the previous
yeah.
administration's word for it.
So I was skeptical, except this weekend's events made me think, wait a minute, why are the Iranians not just saying they won't build a nuclear bomb?
Because they never have.
Yeah, they never take it off
No,
the.
that I've seen interviews with their foreign minister saying we're not building a bomb, we don't want to build a bomb. We enrich uranium because of
Yeah,
electricity.
When was that?
maybe because that was being said prior to them, killing everybody in the leadership.
Or maybe he lied.
Yeah.
That too. Well, I mean, the Iranians have shown a great deal of skill at controlling the message,
Mhm.
and
Or as little of cards that everybody says they have.
whereas the Democrats have shown a great lack of skill at even being able to say anything about the message.
Yeah, the Democrats are not on the field of play, really, are they?
No,
But
they're there. They're doing what they do, which is to avoid getting pinned down, uh, on an issue until they characterize it as either personal, or
But
uh,
honestly, what can they do right now?
That's what I was gonna ask. What if they, let's say they win in 2026 later this year, I guess. They take back Congress.
yeah, let's see that happen.
What do you want them to do if they get at least one of the legislative branches? Because
Well,
right now they
one,
have none of them right
just
now.
one of them
How making our lives
isn't gonna
better.
make a big difference.
So I mean, how
What
do
I
you?
want them to do
Yeah, what do
is
you want
to
to do?
win two houses, both houses of Congress. It's not clear to me that they will win the Senate.
Let me ask you this: what if they do win the not only the House but the Senate?
Mhm.
What do you want them to do if that happens?
Well, let's play that out. Well, first of all, I want them to have some sort of connection with the uh, mechanism of, okay, that's the midterms. That means it's not the presidential race. right? So now their job, let's say that we're in the future and they control both houses. And I will again say I'm not so sure that they will control both houses.
Well,
Oh, but
how about, let's make healthcare a little more affordable for people. Let's make sure that we've got childcare in this country. I mean, to do something for the people.
yeah, but
I mean,
does
we're
that
spending
has that
money on a war all the way over there, something that we just decided we're going to do because we're going to do it now because someone told us that
so
this is
so
the
what
time to do it, and then
let's
we don't
summarize what
educate
you
our people.
so what you're s- I'll summarize your position as it could be summarized, which is we have to do the right thing and we have to essentially wait until Trump is out of office.
Look,
That's the strategy right
we
now.
can talk, we can complain, but we can't do anything.
That's not true.
Okay, tell me what they can do. What can they do?
Number
They
one,
can't pass any laws. They can't,
well, no,
they can't
they can
get enough
pass.
votes to do.
Now you're starting to talk about
The
the,
Republicans, even if it was just like a great idea, they're not going to drop their Trump admiration and
well,
mosey on over
that's,
across the aisle.
we're talking about whether they're going to get votes or not, whether the Democrats are going to get votes sufficient to take over one or both of the houses of Congress. That's the question.
No,
If
that's not
they
the question because
totally, it's the only thing I'm waiting for.
that may happen without them being able to. I mean, people are not happy with what's going on now, so they might vote the Democrats in. Great, but that doesn't mean that we, yeah,
What I'm saying is something different than what you're saying.
well, I don't know what you're saying.
Oh, good.
I think they at a tactical level, they should be putting stuff in front of Trump that's been passed through both houses that Trump will, veto in order to make clear who's the problem. In practice, I think what's going to happen is the opposite. Trump is going to be able to successfully depict their control of both houses as the reason why people should vote Republican in 2028. And so the real contest for 2 years is who's to blame. Winning the argument, who's to blame for all the bad stuff that we're all experiencing.
Yeah. So again, what I'm talking about is not uh, who's to blame. They're all to blame. And the American people are to blame largely because they elected a completely irresponsible, real estate developer.
But yeah, because they liked him more than
Yeah,
the
I don't, he is more likable by a narrow margin of people, which the American people have indicated strongly that they prefer divided government over any other situation right now.
I think that's always been true in my experience. Americans
Yes,
say,
but right now we've had, essentially 4 or maybe 8 years of this guy and the impact on Americans' lives.
I mean, honestly, as a person who wants a better world, I'm more angry with the Democrats than I am with the Republicans. The Democrats kind of handed it to him by everything they did before.
So
And
I agree with you. I think they hand it every time that they talk about the death of democracy, they're accelerating the death of democracy because what they won't talk about is the questions that uh, are being asked by regular people who have no voice
yeah,
and no mechanism because they don't vote for people that can give them some power. So the question is either the my question Either the midterms are going to be successful in a way that's going to change the balance of power. And if it's just the House, that will not change. It'll be helpful in terms of the long run conversation that people start to have. But the question is, are they going to get enough Democrats in office in the Senate? As you were starting to try and point out, the idea of the veto power of the president then becomes in play.
Yeah.
Now, forget about whether Americans are going to blame anybody because they're not. They just want to have what they want. And, most people, and we've talked about this endlessly for months, the number of people who are invested in the stock market uh, has grown substantially over the last 10 years.
Hmm.
The number of people who are voting or are allowed to vote, I'm talking about voter suppression, has shrunk.
And he's going to shrink more with all this identity stuff being approved.
Maybe, if you look at the uh, polls, it's not indicated that Save America thing is going to go through.
Right.
So, all right, so there's going to be in what is it, 200 days, there's going to be an election, and it's about this House and the Senate. If both houses flip, then the discussion becomes who is the nominee? And that's why what's going on right now with the war is quite interesting. My opinion is that Vance is, being handed a seat at the table by who I don't know. It's not clear that Trump likes to have anybody else cutting into his airtime. But but uh, Mario Lanza is
Ed,
effectively he's done a really, yeah, it's the same thing. The show goes, if you just had a transcript, which we're working hard to do, with the under the auspices of the software company not in power, namely Google.
Hmm.
Uh, if there is uh, a a coherent effort to define what the goal is that Americans want to vote for, it will either materialize in 210 days or it won't.
I have a question. Do we think that the Democrats, if they take the House back with a majority, will go ahead and impeach Trump again, even knowing that it might be unlikely that the
I
Senate would
hope
ever
not.
convict?
I
Well,
hope not, but they're certainly stupid enough to
why
do
would
it.
you hope not? First of all, it's not going to happen, but why would you hope not?
Because it's a distraction for what they should be doing.
What is the distraction?
Trying to impeach Trump, which is a losing fight because of the super majority required to do it, is just going to suck time from building an agenda that people want to vote for.
Ah, okay. So I'll take your first point, and then we'll talk about the
Now raise
instead of, and what is it that we're going to do? We're
Yeah.
going to build a majority on issues that people don't vote for the president on.
Well, look, if maybe I'm just too rational, but I want to vote for someone that's going to do something that I think is a good idea.
Since when have you, as
yeah.
a new
Is that too
American
much to
citizen,
ask for?
have you ever voted for a president based on uh, anything other than whether you think that they might have a chance of winning, regardless of what they are running on?
Well,
I,
winning,
It's a
winning
popularity
and doing
contest.
something.
I voted for Obama and Clinton based on thinking there were good things about them. You know, Biden, I've got a feeling I didn't vote for Biden, but not because I didn't want to. I think I just didn't vote because I wasn't motivated.
So you voted for nobody.
I think I voted for nobody in that one.
Right.
And I did vote for Kamala Harris as a kind of an anti vote against Trump, but I didn't have any belief she was going to do anything. So what does that tell you? I'm cynical about politicians, and I think probably everyone is. Therefore, what is this politics all about? If it's not about changing the world in the direction we want, then what is it?
Well, it may be not about changing the direction of the world and what we want. That may be an aspiration that you endorse, but there are a lot of people who vote for reasons that are simpler and less complicated, and also possibly more likely to happen.
Yeah.
So if you look at this and say, what do I want to see happen that gets them all the right people to vote for the person that I think would, therefore, blah, blah, blah.
So you can, I can expose how, unrealistic I am. If I had my way, I would probably start by embracing Mark Andreessen's American dynamism message, which is all about the reindustrialization of America. I'd probably become very favorable to Anduril, Saronic, and all that new military people who are kind of the next version of AI meets robots. I probably would embrace abundance and data centers. And I'd try to get Sam Altman and Dario Amadei building the future economy with a feel-good factor. And it would all be about America not being Rome, but avoiding being Rome by reindustrialization. I'd probably do that. And I'd want that to be a democratic message about producing wealth to allow people to have a better life.
Okay. So, yeah, and that brings with it all the stuff about guaranteed income and all of these fantasy
Maybe,
messages.
I think maybe in the long run, in the short run, it might be just new jobs, but it could be both.
All right, so what kind of new jobs?
Well, all of those things I just described involve jobs. But on the other hand, I
If
do
if
think,
they take away more jobs than they enable,
well,
is that a good thing?
this is where the Democrats' relationship with the unions needs to be revamped. I think the goal of a union should be to look after their members. And if AI is what we think it might be, that doesn't mean protecting their jobs. It means actually protecting their leisure time and allowing society to grow with less need for labor can be a good thing if it's controlled by people who have good outcomes in mind for people. And instead of doing what Bernie's doing and AOC is doing, which is saying no more data centers, going the opposite, saying, yeah, many more data centers and better free time that you can afford, not necessarily universal income, but some strategy where people, when they work less, like a 4-day week instead of a 5-day week, or a 6-hour day instead of an 8-hour day, is progress, is good, but we have to fund it.
Okay, so I understand. You're looking at the end goal of the primacy of AI, uh, so-called innovation, etc.
And some attempt to reinvigorate America and make it a new economy instead of an aging economy.
Right, but that's now we're into Keith's here opinion about how everything lines up along this battle of aging empires.
Yeah. By the way, I know for sure I'd lose the election if that was my campaign. I'm not saying it's a winning message. I'm saying it's the right thing to do.
But again, is it the right thing to do if it doesn't work?
It will work eventually. I mean, it's history's going in that direction anyway.
Uh, I would question that, and I know that there's probably a lot of people in this country that whether they understand what you're talking about or not, will not bet on it.
Yeah.
They'll bet on much more ephemeral and at the same time sort of root issues, such as how much money they have and whether the stock market's going up, regardless of what
Yeah.
that means.
Well, a big part of what I'm saying is paying for welfare. And I hate the word welfare. It's paying for life. Paying for life is what societies do. That's what wealth is all about. And the more wealth, the more you can pay for life.
Again, if you're right, okay. If you're not right, it's not okay.
Yeah, but that's
Okay,
my
so
bet.
I'm not so it's not clear to me
Yeah.
that the battle for it's all up and to the right is going to be something that Americans are going to tie into
Yeah.
in such a matter that they actually can make a difference.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I
Okay,
think
so
that,
so I'm just trying to take that part of your argument and put it aside, and let's talk about what's going to happen pretty clearly in 210 days. And then what?
yeah, I
And
think the
and
Democrats, I think,
what multinational AI companies are going to be more in alignment with your goals, not the process that they go through?
yeah. This week Sam Altman published an industrial policy for America. It didn't get much attention because it was in the middle of all that anthropic stuff, which took the media wave. But it is interesting if you go and read it. And if you read his statement yesterday after the firebombing about what he believes in, it's extremely socially progressive what he wrote. Whether he can make anything happen is another matter. And cynicism towards politicians is shared in common by all the AI companies. They're kind of, kissing Trump's ass when they have to, but actually they're all cynical about politicians, and they're all begging politicians to get more in the driving seat, actually, and politicians aren't stepping up. So we are at a moment in history where there is no leadership, actually. And so when the Democrats win, and I think they probably will win both houses. I'm not an expert on the numbers, so I could be wrong about that. But my gut tells me certainly in votes, I think Democrats are going to win a lot. Whether that translates into seats in the Senate, I'm less sure about, but I hope it does. But then I don't see leadership that's going to turn that into a winning hand.
Right. So what I'm suggesting is don't look at the politicians because they're not going to give you anything that is anything but safe to them.
Mm.
And I think their understanding of their safety is misguided. Instead, look at these people that you are promoting or, you know, assigning blame to, and I don't mean you personally, just in general. This is not an arbitrary situation which we have no control over. If there's anything that civilians have some sort of impact on, it's which AI product or team they want to place their bets on in alignment with this political move away from somebody who can't run again. This is a moment where the
Mhm.
rubber's going to meet the road.
Yeah, I
So,
don't disagree. But
so you know, my uh, a member of my family who's been a computer programmer for many years was asked by his company to take a look at Claude, and you know, and we talk, our family, we talk every week.
Mhm.
And last week, he didn't talk about this. This week, he said, I'm shocked
Why?
at how good it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
me too. I'm with him.
Mm.
Well, I'll believe it when uh, when Gemini is as good as it should be, you
Yeah.
know?
It
Right.
won't take long.
What? I hope you're
I
right.
don't think it'll take long. Gemini gets better almost every day.
Yeah, I agree. But at the same time, uh, understanding who's in charge of that and how they are interacting with this political uh, framework that we are in the middle of. We need some pragmatists. We need some practical people who are willing to step up so that people like us and the people that we enjoy reading about and listening to the music that they are producing, we need to have some day off from this crisis chaos agenda because it's working for Trump. And other than that, this uh, AI thing seems to be having some leverage and some momentum. So
And
what
Trump,
is
yeah, and Trump is doing nothing to embrace and lead that, by the way. I mean, he hired David Sachs, who's now left the position. He's kind of genuflecting in the direction of AI, but he's not actually doing anything. There's a
What?
massive gap for somebody to do something.
Frank
Yeah.
just dropped something in the chat that's really important.
Who did?
Frank did.
what does it
Okay.
say? I see Sky News.
Oh,
What does it say?
Orban has conceded
indeed.
in
Excellent,
Hungary.
excellent.
That's huge.
Mm.
You
And
know,
it
the
was,
guy that's replacing him is kind of Orban-like as well. He's also of the same political. Him and Orban were together, and he's preferred as a person, but he's got the same politics as Orban.
Yeah, I
Same
mean,
as
the reason
Putin.
I would say it's excellent is because anything that takes Vance's push to be, the nominee down a peg.
Yeah.
So I'm good with that.
Yeah.
And it also shows Trump's influence isn't what he thought it was, which I think is important too.
Yeah.
yeah, we're starting to see that in the country,
Orban was
certainly in
always
a
going
lot
to
of those.
lose. Orban was miles behind in the opinion polls, and it's the same with the midterms. The Democrats are going to win. I mean, we already know. The question is, what does it mean?
No, the question is what are they going to win?
What are
Not
they going to do?
Yeah.
if they win and by -1 vote, they do nothing. We live with that every day.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Uh,
is there a good future, Steve? When I listen to you, are you optimistic about any future, or are you just trying to make it
you know, I, I
less bad?
I have four and a half. I have 4.5 grandchildren, granddaughters.
Oh, 3.5.
3.5. Sorry, it's Thursday.
True.
Yeah, so I am uh, outrageously optimistic. I'm not optimistic about the people who are in charge. I'm even less optimistic about the American people not understanding what power they have and doing something with it.
Mhm.
So, that's why I, have a TV screen with divided it into four, multi-view. People think, that I'm crazy. Yeah, I am crazy. I'm looking for I'm looking for patterns that make some sense that can be converted into AI and then become marginally inexpensive to free, as Keith would suggest, over time. We need some momentum. I see everything as being about the Beatles. People think that I'm deluded. Well, I'm probably actually right, which is
Well,
what the
yeah, but
Beatles did was they became Number one on every chart in the world, not just Britain or the United States or hippies or classical music fans or sports fans, everywhere. And they did it by having this engine of success and real innovation, which was driven by competition between the two of the guys that wrote together, which made everything that they wrote together better than anything that they wrote separately. And then they had George Harrison, who was, uh, you know, he said and did everything that he then implanted in the rest of the group to preserve their sense of humor. We need to preserve our sense of humor. The Beatles is about the success of collaboration. And as long as we have that, we will be optimistic.
And it's not just collaboration, it's iteration on top of a previous gain. So
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
not,
that's true, but those are the impacts of the success of their collaboration. And collaboration is, very hard. And, I used to be, very, very unhappy about the collapse of the group. And these days, watching the collapse of our political structure, I'm realizing that the Beatles were smart enough to be able to quit while they were ahead.
but if you use
Nobody has ever really done that before.
so you
Nobody.
you so do using the Beatles as a kind of a allegory of the present, what you're arguing for is genuine conversation, genuine iteration, genuine attempts to be better, that through collaboration result in better outcomes. So you're using the Beatles as a kind of an organizing principle for how to conduct yourself.
No, they were using us, the audience, as a vehicle for their, I mean, Harrison basically, somebody pointed this out, Ian Leslie, I believe, pointed this out, a writer who wrote a book about John and Paul, but was also a very perceptive writer on a number of subjects. He's one of the three people that I actually pay, uh, you know, a subscription to. The other is, Frank's friend. What's his name?
Evan Shapiro.
Yeah, who I have some problems with it right now because I think he's under a lot of stress for his business model, but he's a sharp guy, and that's it. So what George Harrison would do is basically once he got into a position of power with being not being Lennon or McCartney, he basically guarded the gates and not would not let any other musicians or producers or whatever get into the Beatles and destroy the balance. He was the
But go from the Beatles to today and why those kind of abstract lessons are important now.
it's not abstract, it's pragmatic. They took over the music world.
Well,
They
it
took
seems
over
it
the
seems
film world.
related
I
to
understand what he's
right now.
saying.
So let's do that.
I'm ducking or dodging his question because I want to stay on what I want to stay on.
Right.
Okay. So the bottom line, yeah, what's wrong with that, right, Frank?
Hey, it's your show, man.
So far. So the bottom line here is that this is a structure. What did we have before that? We had Kennedy, who was murdered. We had Malcolm, who was murdered. We had, Martin Luther
Bobby.
King that was murdered. Bobby Kennedy. We had all those leaders that achieved some traction. I mean, Bobby Kennedy, uh, in a news press conference at the airport when he found out about Martin Luther King's murder is one of the greatest emotional speeches that crossed over all the lines of our political life. It didn't, it succeeded in the sense of giving us hope. And that's really what you're asking about is why would I have any hope? That was your question.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Optimism.
No, hope.
Same thing, I think.
Okay. Well, you go with optimism. Optimism is like, gee, this is going to be great. And then it isn't great. And, well, now what? I'm screwed. Hope is I hope things are going to go better for who? For our children and our friends and our grandchildren and for our country.
So that really comes down to economics, politics, and then civil society sitting on top of it. And it, to me, it's a stack. The bottom has to be good for the middle to be good, and the middle has to be good for the top to be good.
That's a rationalization, in my opinion, for uh, you know, here are my goals, here's my theories, and if this is going to work, everything has to line up like that.
Mm-hmm.
History isn't like that necessarily. I question the lack of continued strength of the United States. I there's something about it. I understand all the data, or enough of it. I hear it from you. I hear it from all of us here. But the bottom line is that it takes uh, some kind of hybrid, in my opinion, of enterprise and citizen. In other words, the middle class, the the people who are making the decisions about what they're interested in doing with their lives and how that's reflected economically. To me, that's where the Beatles live.
Yeah.
Okay, at least I got to say it.
Well, you and Keith had a nice conversation for a while there.
Well,
What
I was trying to get Steve to,
still
instead
trying.
of literally talking about the Beatles, talk about what the lessons for today are of what they achieved that we can act on.
But they're achieving
Yeah.
it still right now.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
It's not
that
about
doesn't,
this is not this is not an allegory.
that's okay.
It's
Just,
not a
it doesn't,
metaphor.
if they're achieving, fine, go with that.
It does
I
matter.
don't want to, yeah, but I don't want to retread this. But it doesn't matter because if they're still achieving it, you can still answer that question.
Which is what? What's the question? He was trying to get
Which
me to
is
do something
what
else.
what
What
is
is that something
He was,
else?
how is
Steve,
it applicable to today? How are those lessons, or how is that information that is gained through the Beatles, how can that be applied today?
Every
Since it was a
time,
winning concept.
look at this AI thing. What is AI? It's a structure on top of, it's ludicrous to me that they're talking about the death of software being killed off by AI. AI is software too.
it is, yeah.
Okay. So
There's no question about it.
what's the impetus behind
Well,
that?
so was
What was the impetus
so was
behind
Salesforce
four
when they
guys?
said no software.
What?
So was Salesforce when they said no. So they had a no
No
software
software.
campaign for a long time.
Yeah, it was a campaign, and it was a successful one because they were campaigning against uh, a new kind of software.
Mm-hmm.
My reaction to no software has always been, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
of course it is.
Yeah.
But what's more fundamental is what can you create with the stuff that you have that's going to advance you and improve your life. And if not you, your son-in-law,
I
come on, you're
I look forward to an AI world. I firmly think that it will make us smarter and it will advance humans. But
Yeah, I recognize all the stuff about the fear of AI, and we're seeing the big fear now being, okay, it's 1 trillion tokens that basically are in place. I mean, Keith gave all the data, but the real question is, I'm less afraid of that than I am of, some marketing guys fighting out a battle to make sure that we're safe for the continued chaos that's going on right now. I don't want to be safe
it
that
seems
way.
that our future is going to be more about the battle for energy since AI is going to consume so much energy. We're going to have
But
to
that's
spend a
like
lot of
saying that
time
it's going to
figuring
take
out how to
jobs.
create different energy. And that may be a really interesting place that we have to
Exactly.
go.
That's right. And that's where our voting is got as
Frank is like, what?
No, but the big thing there is to understand that jobs is a goal of a primitive society. No jobs is the goal of an advanced society. And so no jobs shouldn't be scary. Actually, it should be an aspiration.
Yeah,
yeah.
And,
I'm
and,
all
and,
for it.
I
and
I think having corporations basically trying to avoid the what happened with the pandemic, which was to push everything back to the home. I think it's scary that so many politicians and corporates are trying to keep that at bay.
Mhm.
I think it's slowing
Or reverse
down.
it.
I
Yeah,
agree. I
exactly.
agree. Return to the office is the opposite message of what we should have.
Yeah, because it's not where we want to end up
No,
eventually
Well,
it's
there is.
anyway.
we're
So we got a
we're
little.
on the road to nowhere. I'm seeing them
Then
this
we
week,
can go
actually.
into Nowhere Man. So
Who? What is that song?
It's Talking Heads, isn't it?
Oh,
oh, excellent.
It's
you're
playing.
not seeing the Talking
Yours,
Heads,
I am. They're playing. Well, David Byrne is playing at Stanford this week.
I heard
right?
his show is
Well,
great.
Ringo's. I've never seen Ringo in concert. Don't plan to.
Okay. What else?
Okay,
Mr.
movies.
Burton. Go and see Mr. Burton on your Apple TV. British movie about Richard Burton's
Oh,
uh, life from a student to being an actor.
Hmm.
It's very, very good.
Is he
nice,
is there an actor or a documentary?
It's a fictional movie
Mm.
with good acting and a
nice.
good story. It's me and Jenny watched it last night. It's just over 2 hours. It's I think being a Brit helps you appreciate it. So I'm not. It might not be for everyone, but I loved it.
Does he meet Elizabeth Taylor in
No,
this?
no, it's early.
Oh,
It's
for
from
that.
when he was the son of a miner living with his sister and being in high school through to his first stage performance
He
doing
was
Shakespeare.
was he Welsh?
Welsh, yeah.
Mm.
Mhm.
Okay,
What else is good to stream?
yeah,
Anybody? No.
nothing.
I'm watching the sort of the end game on For All Mankind, which is just it was
No
really
spoilers.
emotional.
No
From it's
spoilers.
very good.
Yeah,
Um,
we're getting
I
to.
I've sort of let the Madison go
Yeah,
away.
you quit. I heard.
It didn't grab me, but I still like Marshalls too, and I still like Your Friends and Neighbors. Those are
Yeah,
sort of the ones I'm.
I enjoyed
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
Uh, Brent, how about you? I know you're shaking your head, but
Yeah,
He's glued to That Was the Week on his Apple TV.
He's glued
or
to
the
the Masters.
Masters.
What's going on? Who's is Rory still at the leader of the pack?
He spawned back 2 shots.
Really?
Yeah. But it's only the 6 hole.
Mhm.
plenty to make up.
Okay, Tina, what shows?
I don't know what shows.
No, you tell me.
I can't remember. What shows are we? Well,
Okay, I'll
what
tell.
are we? Yeah.
Squirrel.
Yeah. Okay. Rooster.
Our code name for rooster is squirrel.
Yeah.
By the
It
way.
is good. It is good.
It is.
It's actually funny.
It's
Yeah.
very
If you
good. I
see
think it's gonna
if you
be
see
the writing's pretty
on the
pretty
TV and
good.
it says comedy, don't believe it. Nothing is funny except rooster.
Rooster is actually funny. I agree.
Yeah.
It's kind of a Seinfeld-ish moment. It's good.
Yeah.
What's that one on?
It's
It's on HBO here.
yeah,
Oh,
HBO.
It's
What?
Steve Carell.
What is mean?
I don't. It's the only thing I don't have.
But it's probably on Sky there.
Yeah, I think but I'm gonna have to go and look and see if it's
It'll be on
now.
Sky Atlantic, I bet you.
Yeah, but Sky Atlantic is also now TV.
See, if you if you record it, then you get a transcript of it, and okay, give me that transcript so that he can explain to me how I can cheat.
Yeah,
So, are you also watching DTF on HBO?
Yeah, I gave up on it.
Yeah.
I got bored.
I'm losing it too on that one.
Yeah.
And what about the one about the three women? What's it
That's
called?
pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that isn't bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been watching that.
Three angry women or something like it.
No, it's
We don't.
Not 12
Or-
Angry Men.
I'll tell you what it's called, just because our readers will
Something.
never find it based on Steve's description.
It's over here. It's in
It's
this
called
chiclet right here.
It's called Imperfect Women.
Imperfect Women. Yeah.
Is it The Imperfect
It's
Women?
basically
No, just Imperfect Women.
it's a murder mystery, and it's about relationships. So yeah, it's a good one.
don't murder your relation.
Murder.
I hate to admit it, but I saw me and Jenny watch Matlock.
Oh.
Okay.
Well,
I have a friend of
kind of
I have a friend of mine who is her stand-in. So,
Oh, really?
and yeah, so she has to wear the same outfits that she wears, and so if you see the two of them standing next to each other, it's uncanny.
Here's a show that I angrily do not want to approve of it, but it's really good. The Pit.
Oh. Steve can't handle
it is
the
good.
reality of it.
No,
it
makes me feel like I'm in the hospital.
the open.
That's all coming. I just don't want to do it now.
Babies that are.
But it's really good.
I watch.
But it's great.
Casualty. So what do I know?
What's Casualty?
We have a show here called Casualty. It's a weekly medical procedural. So yeah.
So there was a show that I watched on. We tried to watch it last night, and unfortunately, about two shows in, I said, "Oh yeah, I've seen it."
Yeah.
But it's
criminal
the reason
intent or something.
Yeah,
or
criminal
report.
I like that.
It's really good. The first
we can't figure out
but
whether we've seen it before.
No, but I have figured it out. You haven't seen it.
No, I don't think I have.
No. And it's coming back for a second
Mm-hmm.
season, which is why I'm trying to remember it. And
so now we have to
second episode, then you'll remember.
Yeah. Pretty good.
They pull you right in.
All right. Yeah. All right.
That's what
guys.
it's all about.
We'll see you next week.
If there is a next week.
There's always a next week.
I think we need Steve's parting sentence.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That ain't it.
Go ahead.
Thanks to everybody who showed up, and especially those who didn't. See you again next time. Bye-bye.
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 See you, boys. I actually have to run.
Me too.
See you.
See ya.
Adios.